So let's have a bit of a coffee chat, shall we? And today I want to talk a little bit about comparison. Comparison to me is the biggest dream stealer, and it will destroy and tear to shreds your Italian dream if you let it. And I wanted to talk about it because sometimes we don't give this enough attention. We don't pay enough attention to those moments when they pop up, where we're looking at other people and we think, they're somehow better than me, or they have something that I'll never be able to have. We don't pay enough attention to those moments. We think the faults, we let them go, but subconsciously they are having an impact on our confidence and our ability to do what it is that we want to do. And I wanted to just have this little chat today. No big production, no fancy transitions, just me and you having a chat about comparison, because it's been on my mind a lot recently, and I thought if I'm thinking it, chances are you're thinking it as well, especially if you're planning to move to Italy. So what are some of the ways that you can feel comparison if you want to move to Italy? Firstly, to do with the language. Your ability to learn Italian is something that will at some point lead you down the comparison path. I have certainly watched countless videos on YouTube of people who speak a number of different languages. I've looked across social media, and I've seen people who have been living in Italy for a similar time as me, and sometimes for less time, and they're speaking the language and making great progress. And then there's me, who is still very much at a beginner level, although I've improved so much in this time. And so it's very easy to look at those people who are being successful and have mastered the language and look at myself and think, there's got to be a problem here, right? Why am I not able to speak the language and these people clearly are? And sometimes it's difficult because we don't see the behind the scenes of these people's lives. We don't see how they have managed to learn the language, what time they've had to dedicate to learning the language, and even why they're in Italy in the first place. Some people who are speaking the language well are actually studying languages at university. So in a way, they have a huge advantage. They have the time dedicated to do that. So I think sometimes you have to really look at your own life objectively and be like, well, hold on a second. I'm working, I'm, producing YouTube content, I'm, trying to relax in the middle of everything. I don't have as much free time as I would like to dedicate to the language. I need to take responsibility for sure, and I need to spend more time on it, but I also don't need to compare myself to other people because my life is clearly different to those people around me. So comparison with language is real. You will feel it at some point on your journey. And I just want to tell you that it's very normal, but don't let it affect your progress. Everybody learns a language in their own time and in their own way. There isn't a one set rule for learning a language. You have to discover your style, what works for you, and essentially the amount of time you can dedicate to learning that language. I think little and often is better than none at all, which is something that I need to start to adopt in my own life. But essentially, it's not about comparison. We never really know what goes on in other people's lives. So where else have I felt comparison? To do with YouTube, actually. So 2 years ago, I started this channel. For those of you that have been on this journey with me for all of that time, thank you so much. But I started this channel as a way to overcome my feelings of loneliness. We were going through that really strange pandemic period. I wasn't able to communicate properly. It was just a really awkward time. And YouTube was my outlet to be able to express my feelings, communicate in English, and essentially later on showcase what Italy was like to people who weren't able to come here to travel to see it. So, it's been a good outlet for me to express my creativity and communicate. But essentially at some point I've started to look at fellow creators who started their channels around the same time as me. And I've seen how some of those channels have really blown up, over 10,000 subscribers in the same amount of time as me. And I look at those channels and it's so easy to think, but why don't I have that same level of subscribers? Why don't I have those same numbers? What's wrong with my channel? What am I not producing that's resonating with that channel but not with my audience? And this is where comparison can be tricky, because if you look at those, what essentially are vanity metrics, you can look at those and think, oh my goodness, I'm not good enough. Maybe this isn't something I should be doing. But then if you really analyze things and you take a step back, I've looked at some of those channels and I've seen that the view counts on their videos, for the majority of them, are of a similar view count to mine. And I'm a channel with just under 2,000 subscribers at the time of filming. So when you compare it like that, I'm doing really well. You know, I'm building a community, and let's face it, when you build a solid community with substance, it takes time. It's not an immediate overnight thing. I start to see like familiar names popping up on my channel. I appreciate all of the detail that you go into in the comments that you leave me, and you know, your support for my channel, it means so much. But you see, comparison can take you away from that. It can make you feel like you are less of a person just because you don't have X amount of subscribers. It's not true. And this is something that I've really had to tell myself a lot recently, because when I consider the size of my channel and the engagement that I have, I'm doing really, really well. And it's that I need to hold on to and understand that, just like this mug, progress is piano, it's slowly, slowly. And by the way, if you're wondering where this lovely mug is from, piano, I've actually created my first online shop selling clothes and accessories inspired by life in Italy. This is one of the opening designs, and there are a couple of other designs in the shop to begin with. So have a little look. The link is up here, and also I'll pop it below in the show notes. There'll be seasonal collections, limited edition ranges, but it's all going to be with the heart and soul of Italy included in it. So yeah, go and have a little look at that. It's a lovely creative outlet for me, and a chance to share Italy with you wherever you may be in the world. Another area of comparison that you might feel when it comes to moving to Italy is how you're going to make social connections, friendships, and meet people. Now this, again, you can't compare, because it very much depends on your reason for moving to Italy, and also to a certain degree your age and your stage in life. If you move as a student and you're studying here, it's going to be so much easier for you to meet people and make connections because of the environment in which you're going to be in every single day. Whereas if you move here and you are literally setting your life up from scratch like I did, it takes more time. Yes, you can meet people at work, but work relationships here take longer to build compared to if you're studying in a class with students every day. So I think, you know, it very much depends on the reason why you're here and how you can make connections. It's, again, like learning a language. There's not a one rule that applies to everybody, but you just have to know that your journey is going to be unique. So don't compare, don't look at people who have made lots of friends here and think there's something wrong with you if you haven't. They may have just been in a better situation to be able to do that. They may not have certain disadvantages like communication issues, for example. And also they may already have people here that they know. So I don't know, I just think comparison can be so dangerous, and I wanted to record this video today to say just don't compare. Don't look at me, don't look at other YouTubers, don't look at other people on Instagram and think that somehow you are not as good as somebody else, or we're living this amazing life, because I can promise you we all have our own trials and tribulations. Nobody's life on these platforms is perfect, but just know that, you know, you can make your dream of moving to Italy happen, but just don't let comparison be the killer of it.